And next up, we have something that I'm very excited to find out about, Minute of Islands from Studio Fizbin, and I'm joined by Anjin. Hello, sir, how are you?
Hello. Really great. Thank you for having us.
Oh, no worries. Thank you for...
We were really excited to see the message that we have been selected. So
great.
That's really cool.
Oh, awesome. Well, thank you for joining us. Before we jump into the demo, could you maybe just sort of set the game up for us, if people who haven't heard of it? What is Minute of Islands?
So Studio Fizbin, our previous projects have been graphic adventures. So we are a graphic adventure crew by heart, and we're now doing a puzzle platformer, and that comes with a lot of heart in the story, and a lot of attention to detail and crazy artwork, because that's the crew transferring their skills to a puzzle platformer. So what we did is we have a puzzle platformer that is mainly art driven and story driven. And what we want to do, I hope the art speaks for itself. But as for the story, we are basically setting up something that is very traditional hero's journey kind of thing. So this is Mo, the girl in the yellow coat, and she becomes the selected one, needing to save basically the whole world, stuff like this. And she gets a very special tool called the Omni Switch, which is her magic sword, and only she can use it, things like that. And this is usually a setup which would lead to some sort of personal transformation, something to overcome, something to grow into, so that she could become the hero the story needs. That's prototype hero journey, and that's really not what we're interested in telling, because we rather would like to explore what all that responsibility and that feeling of having to shoulder the world alone, but also feeling kind of special for it, all these things are doing to an actual human being, instead to an archetypical story character.
Yeah, sure. Okay, wonderful. Let's jump in. I've been listening to this lovely title screen music, and I want to find out more.
Yeah. So for this demo, there's a lot of tutorial explanation in it. So because we wanted it to be pick up and play. It's a custom section of one of our bigger areas in the game, which you can explore. It has a finish, the demo. So I hope we reach the end.
Great.
And there, I hope all the controls are self-explanatory, but I hope you don't mind if I jump in from time to time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. I love this art style. How did you kind of come to this art style? It reminds me of something, but I can't quite put my finger on it.
A lot of people say Adventure Time, but it actually goes further back, because our art director Tim, he comes from a comic artist background. He's a published comic book artist. And so what he brings in is a lot of ligne claire, like Tintin comic books, Franco-Belgian adventure stories with this really clean lines and flat colors, but attention to detail in the environment, stylized characters, and then mature storytelling. And this is what we wanted to bring in. So our art director is really particular about making sure that every frame looks like it has been illustrated just for that very frame. And if you look, you see that for these types of areas, there's 3 sorts of areas in the game. I can go into detail about the other 2 later. These islands, which are the core pieces of the game, they are basically illustrated square inch by square inch. If you look closely, it's not assembled through game assets in an engine by a level designer. That's where we come from as graphic adventure artists. Is we have these just big vistas which are illustrated and usually just with points to click on, And now we are making this an explorable space, with depth and some hidden areas, and of course real-time controls.
Yeah, it looks gorgeous. Yeah, really, really nice.
The wording you see on top there will later be spoken by a female narrator. We've already cast a few lines in the demo are already spoken, but we needed to change a few things last minute. And since we're working with a professional recording studio and professional artists, it's not that easy just to schedule some re-recordings.
Right.
But we're really looking forward to it because it gives this story which has a lot of symbolism in it and a lot of allegory, this kind of like fable feeling when the narration helps us understand how Mo feels and what the situation is and what maybe like lurks
right
under the surface.
So adjust my screen.
So this artwork we're currently like walking through is like one continuous artwork, right? So, and it's like easily 12 screens wide and 9 screens high, something like this, and it's just one continuous illustration piece. So there was a lot of research and development to making that work logistically, not only just from a technical standpoint, like how it like is rendered in the game and when do we load what and how to make it seamless and stuff, but also these illustrations are way too big to make it fit into any graphic software file out there. So we have to like have very specific workflows about connecting and tiling just huge areas together. And there's like 3 to 5 artists like having working on any given screen, because we also like reach them around so everybody can add their own unique detail. And it's a bit of it's a bit crazy to do it like that because like why not use this wooden box again, right? So like we use some tricks, right? So the artists are at their discretion to reuse certain elements, but they're always embedding them in the art with more art, right? It's not just a sticker placed somewhere, right? But it's like super crazy, but it allows our artists to add like flavor and flourish to every square inch, because the graphic objects don't have to fit specific sizes and shapes. And just when you draw a box again, you draw it differently, right? So that's what we have been pushing for. So yeah, this is like the first and for this demo only environmental puzzle.
This is where I get instantly stuck and look like a huge dunce.
Yeah, maybe I'll let you play for a second.
So I think I've got to turn this windmill. There's a ladder at the top. We need to get to that lever.
Remember that you can climb downwards through platforms.
Oh, okay. Right. Maybe.
You're currently playing not a late part in the game, but there's already at least like 25 minutes of gameplay passed usually in this area.
With that art style you're talking about drawing these giant levels, does that mean everything has to be kind of locked in place quite early on, or is there still kind of room for like big changes?
It's tough. So like there's always the danger that it's not very flexible, right? So when the game designer when we now playtest and we feel like, okay, this platform needs to be like 2 virtual meters to the left, for example, something like this, then yeah, that has to go through the art pipeline again. So we have a lot of like level design ping pong between artists and game designers very early on to kind of like make a good landing, and then it's still iteration.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Also like the stuff of like managing all the layers, like when is stuff in front of the main character, when is it behind, so you have this sensation of depth to the environments. I
guess there's challenges as well of like what people are meant to be interacting with, and
to
be able to tell detail from the
because it's rather noisy, right? And it's not formalized in these areas. Like there's some stuff like we have added like highlighting, there's a bit of color coding in there, but it's very subtle because we did not want these island surfaces to look very gamey. There's like 2 more things going on in the game. I'm not sure. I would encourage people to check out the trailer because there's footage from different areas in the game, what you can see is that there's all this like technology bubbling to the surface, right? There's like these cables, and then there's some real strange machines. You will encounter one very soon. And these are machines that have been placed on the island and in the guts of the island by giants.
Right.
So, and the story is that these machines are built to protect these islands from a mysterious cloud of poisonous mushroom spores.
Right.
So you see them hovering through the air there, right?
Right.
And Mo is like the only human who ever got interested in what the giants actually do. So she basically cut her childhood short and went downstairs and lived underground for many years, all like deserting her friends and family on the surface, just to be like learn about the giants and how they work and what they do. And so they befriended her and gave her the Omni Switch, which is this glowing tool you're occasionally pulling out, right? And this is like the only giant interface device ever made for human hands. So that's why it's so special. And that's why she also feels very special. And then, wouldn't you know it, one day all of the machines start working at the same time and the spores come back. And she's like the only human equipped and able to deal with it. And that's how we make her the chosen one, basically. And when this pressure comes in, and when her psyche like starts to bit by bit revolt against that situation, the giant machines and also psychedelic visions induced by the mushrooms, right, are starting to creep into the game more and more and more and more, and it gets like really crazy, and the puzzles get like really interesting with broken physics, and also the giant machines, like they're never intended to be understood and touched by humans, so they have like really weird logic, and you like have to learn how they function, things like that. So what we're currently playing is basically like the game at its most normal.
Oh, right. I mean, this guy's not normal.
Yeah, well, he's careful. He's wearing a gas mask, protecting himself from the spores.
I like that. I like the I like the winding the machine and the sort of weird interface. That's cool.
So now you received the Island Master Key. Do you remember where the locks have been?
Yes, I think so. There was a lock over this way. Do I have to go back up this way?
I would try the lever.
Oh.
So it's like the island surface is like really encouraged for you to move carefully and observe the environment and find things in it. Like there's also a lot of hidden collectibles and corners you can uncover.
Is that like the memories?
The memories, yeah, the memories you're collecting. And there sometimes are hidden in objects that are not obviously interactable, but they may spark your interest, so you're checking them out.
I love the shadows here. Like that's really nice. Like it just brings it all together and.
There's a lot of this kind of stuff in the game. Something that like we did not want to actually make a comic book. We wanted to make a game. So there's a lot of effects in it. The way like the light shines on Mo when she pulls out her Omni Switch, and or stuff like the hair, for example. This is a spine animation, so 2D animators will know what I'm talking about. Like it's a very common software because you can code it. And if you now like if you look to the left, you see that the hair flows to the right, and if you look to the right, you see that the hair still flows to the right. Because we even have like stuff like wind simulation in a 2D game. Because just we really wanted to go all out to keep the atmosphere dense and to keep it like as visually rich and interesting as possible. With that flat art style.
Yeah, no, it's really impressive. I've seen, sometimes games like this can look gorgeous in screenshots, but when they move too rigidly, they don't feel alive. We had this phase. So like we built stuff and then we played it and we were not feeling it. It looked good, but it was really like moving graphics on a flat surface. Right.
So we really then pumped up the let's say call it production value, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, you're well on the way. So I think there's not much obstacles In this, again, the underground spaces will have like weird machine puzzles.
Right.
And the sequences where Mo is having a psychedelic episode, they will break physics, so things get more complicated towards the end.
Okay.
But the return to these islands, which there are a lot, is always a bit more romantic.
Right.
And more laid back. And we also, the game is intended to be finished in roughly like 2 to 4 hours, somewhere like 3 hours, something like this, 1 or 2 sittings. We want players to stay in particular emotional spaces when they experience the story. And the idea is not to like drive them into a web browser and have them look up a walkthrough just to get past a certain point.
Right.
The OmniSwitch, the compass element, shows you like the next machine, which
Right.
of course is not the only thing you might be interested on those islands, right? It's just the next official objective.
Right. I saw the title screen has a boat on it as well.
Yeah.
How does that is that a thing you use? Is that factored?
It's not something that is actual gameplay,
Okay.
but you travel on this boat with the island, and there's a creature living
Yeah.
on your boat. It's not your pet. It's
Okay.
not your friend. It's just living on your boat, and it has a very particular purpose in the game, which I won't spoil right now.
Okay.
But these encounters with that creatures are worth the animation, basically.
Right. Oh, exciting. Fantastic. And when can people kind of expect to play this one?
We are aiming for spring next year, actually.
Oh, okay. Fantastic. Ooh. Oh, I love the animation. It's brilliant.
The half-rotten mortal creeps in hunger, seeking, ready to devour.
Yeah, you are actually on the last climb.
Let's do it. Let's
Of
do it.
the-
Let's
of
finish
the-
it.
of the demo,
Let's go on
so-
a high.
Yes.
So I'm climbing up.
So that's just a shortcut
shortcut back,
right?
yeah.
Sure.
That's really gorgeous. And people can play this here at EGX Berlin on your stand?
Yes.
Wonderful.
We are we're planning to release on all platforms at the same time. So Steam and obviously all consoles. I will personally be mainly a Switch person for this
Okay.
one, because it's a kind of like intimate and cozy game.
Yeah.
So I love the closeness of the Switch here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I will shut up now.
Enjoy this. Ominous creation. Dear. I love avoiding it. No. Disaster.
So sorry, not ending on a high note.
Not ending on a high note. Well, that is looking absolutely awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for talking us through it. Really, so striking. Like, the animation is beautiful. I love the music. Yeah, people can see on screen now the details of where they can find out more about the game, Minute of Islands. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. That was fun.